Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, let's just get straight to it. You might be dealing with relentless calls, maybe even threatening letters from debt collectors.
Yeah, it happens to a lot of people.
It really does. And it's stressful. It can feel like it's designed to just, overwhelm you. But that feeling, being powerless, that's what we're going to tackle today.
Exactly.
Our mission for this deep dive is pretty simple, really. We want to give you a clear roadmap. Your rights.
And, importantly, actual steps you can take. Concrete things.
Yeah. To put a stop to the harassment, we've looked through an article with some solid advice, so let's dig in.
Absolutely. And the first thing to grasp right off the bat is this. Okay, you might owe a legitimate debt, that's one thing.
Sure.
But the way collectors are allowed to act, it's not a free-for-all. There are actual rules, limits,
Okay.
specific boundaries to protect you. So our goal here is to translate that legal stuff into, practical actions, things you can do now.
Right. Shifting from feeling like a target to feeling more in control.
Precisely. Taking back some control.
Okay, so let's nail this down then. What kind of actions from a debt collector actually cross that line? Become harassment.
That's a really key question because sometimes calls are just annoying, right?
Yeah, exactly. Where's the legal line you can push back on?
Well, there's a law, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA for short.
FDCPA, got it.
And it clearly spells out what debt collectors cannot do. Think of them like bright red lines.
Okay, lay some out for us.
Yeah.
What are the absolute don't go there things?
Yeah, first off, calling you at crazy hours.
Yeah.
The FDCPA says no calls before 8 in the morning.
8 a.m. Okay.
Or after 9 at night. That respects your basic right to peace and quiet,
Makes sense. Sleep hours.
Yeah, avoids disrupting your whole life. And another big one, a tactic just meant to scare you. Threatening arrest if you don't pay.
Wait, they actually do that?
Some might try, but it's completely illegal in this context. No legal basis for it, a clear violation.
Wow, okay. Good to know that's flat out illegal. What else? What other behaviors are off limits?
Okay, using abusive language, cursing, insults, nasty remarks, none of that is allowed.
Right. Keep it professional, basically, even if it's debt collection.
Exactly. And it's not just what they say, but how often. Repeated calls, back to back, just designed to annoy or harass you.
Even if they're not yelling or swearing.
Even then, if the intent is clearly just to badger you, that's against the FDCPA too. It's about the intent and the impact.
Okay, that makes sense. It's the pattern, not just one call. What about involving other people? Like calling your family or work? That feels like a huge privacy violation.
Oh, it absolutely is. Contacting your friends, your family, even your employer, mainly to embarrass you about the debt.
Yeah.
That's a direct violation. Now, sometimes they can contact others, but only for very limited reasons, like trying to find your location.
Okay.
And even then, they can barely say anything about the debt itself. So calling your boss to say, hey, they owe money, definitely not okay.
That's not just unprofessional, it's illegal.
Illegal. A serious misstep for them.
Shocking. So, okay, if someone listening is hearing this and thinking, yeah, that's happening to me, what are the very first steps, the crucial ones to regain some control?
Okay, the absolute first thing you should consider doing is formally asking for validation of the debt.
Validation of...
This is your initial move and, honestly, often the most powerful one.
All right, let's break that down. Ask for validation. What does that actually mean? What do you do?
So the law says that within 5 days of when they first contact you, the collector has to send you a written notice.
A written notice, okay.
Yeah, with key details like who the original creditor was, how much you supposedly owe.
Gotcha.
But if you're unsure about that debt, maybe it's super old, you don't recognize it, whatever, you have the right to send them a written request asking them to validate it, prove it's yours.
And what happens once you send that written request? What's the immediate effect?
This is key. Once they get your written validation request, they legally have to stop all collection efforts.
Stop everything. Calls, letters.
Everything. Until they provide you with that proof. They need to send verification.
What kind of proof?
Proof that the debt is real, who the original creditor was, the amount, and proof they actually have the right to collect that specific debt from you.
Okay, so it forces their hand.
Exactly. It buys you time, makes them show their cards. It's your first real defense against mistakes or even fake debt claims.
That sounds like something everyone should do if they're even slightly unsure. Okay, what's next? Let's say the harassment keeps going after validation. Or maybe you just want them to stop contacting you, period.
Right. If you just want the contact to stop, the next assertive step is sending a cease and desist letter.
Cease and desist, like stop talking to me.
Pretty much. It's a formal written letter telling the debt collector explicitly to stop all further communication with you.
Okay, a clear written demand. And what happens when the collector gets that? Are they legally bound by it?
Yes. Once they receive a proper cease and desist letter, their ability to contact you becomes super limited. Legally, only 2 reasons they can reach out again.
Only 2. What are they?
1, to tell you they are stopping collection efforts.
Okay.
Or 2, to tell you they intend to file a lawsuit to recover the debt.
And that's it. No more calls, no more letters otherwise.
That's it. It puts you back in the driver's seat regarding communication.
That's a massive shift in power. But what if they just ignore it? What if the cease and desist letter goes out and the harassing calls still keep coming? What then?
Okay, if they blow off your cease and desist and keep up the illegal behavior, you absolutely need to escalate. Report them.
Report them. Where? Who do you report them to?
Several places. A key one is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB.
CFPB.
You can file a complaint right on their website, consumerfinance.gov. They take FDCPA violations really seriously.
Consumerfinance.gov.
Yeah.
Got it. Who else?
The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, they handle unfair business practices, including illegal debt collection. File with them, too.
Okay, CFPB, FTC. Anywhere else?
Yeah. Definitely check with your state attorney general's office. Many states have their own consumer protection laws, sometimes even stronger than federal ones.
Right. State level, too.
Reporting there adds another layer. And look, if the harassment is really bad, persistent, or you feel your rights were seriously violated,
Yeah.
it's probably wise to talk to a consumer rights attorney. They can look at your specific situation and tell you about potential legal action.
Okay, so multiple avenues for reporting and legal help if needed. This is all about taking action, arming yourself. Now, something that kept popping up was keeping records. Why is that so critical?
Oh, meticulous records are your absolute best friend here. Your most valuable tool if things escalate.
Okay, so what does that mean? What kind of records?
Make it a habit. Save every voicemail they leave.
Yeah.
Every single call you have with them. As soon as you hang up, write down detailed notes.
Like what?
Date, time, who you spoke with, get a name if you can, and exactly what was said. Both sides of the conversation. And keep copies. Copies of every letter or email you send them and every single thing they send you.
So you're basically building a case file, a documented history.
Precisely. It's an undeniable timeline of their actions. If they keep harassing you after you told them to stop or after you asked for validation, those records are gold. They become powerful evidence when you complain to the CFPB or FTC.
Or if you end up needing a lawyer.
Especially then. Having concrete proof laid out clearly in your records, it massively strengthens your case.
And we saw this in the source material. If a collector has violated the FDCPA, you actually have the right to sue them.
Yes, that's a critical point. You can sue them and potentially win damages.
Damages for the harassment itself.
Potentially, yes. The law allows for statutory damages, actual damages, even attorney fees in some cases if you win. But again, those records. Absolutely essential for proving your case in court.
Makes total sense. Okay, let's shift a bit. Any other bonus tips, things people could do to protect themselves further?
Yeah, a few extra things. First, be super careful about giving out personal info over the phone.
Like social security number, bank accounts.
Exactly. Unless you have independently verified who is calling and that the debt is legitimate, don't give them sensitive details. Scammers love to pretend to be debt collectors.
Right. Verify first. Good advice. What else?
Another proactive thing, check your credit reports regularly. All 3 bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion.
Why is that important here?
It helps you spot old debts or maybe debts that aren't even yours that collectors might suddenly start chasing. You get free reports every year, so use them.
Good habit anyway.
Definitely. And finally, this is crucial. Remember, no matter how intimidating they sound, no matter what they imply, you cannot be put in prison for not paying a consumer debt in the U.S.
Okay, that's huge. Debtor's prison isn't a thing.
Not for this kind of debt. Knowing that basic right helps you resist fear tactics. Don't let them scare you with empty threats like that.
So the big message here feels like it's about empowerment. Knowledge is power. Take action. Don't just react out of fear.
That's exactly it. Look, dealing with debt is stressful, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But you need to internalize this. Harassment is never okay. It's not legal. It's not ethical.
It's against the law.
It's against the law. Understanding your rights, using the steps we talked about, validation requests, cease and desist letters, reporting, that's how you stop the abuse. That's how you regain control.
This has been really, really helpful. Super practical stuff for anyone stuck in this situation. If someone listening is going through this right now, what's your final piece of advice or encouragement?
My main message is You're really not alone in this. So many people face this. And you absolutely do not have to just take the abuse. Take the steps we outlined. Ask for validation if you're unsure. Send that cease and desist if the contact needs to stop.
And report them if they cross the line.
Absolutely. Report them. CFPB, FTC, your state AG. Don't hesitate. And, share this info. If you know someone getting these calls, tell them about their rights. Awareness helps everyone.
Yeah, definitely pass it on. And if listeners have their own stories about this or maybe more questions, how can they reach out?
Yeah, we definitely like to hear from you. Share your experiences, ask questions, send us an email. It's your email at example.com.
Okay, your email at example.com. We appreciate hearing those stories.
Helps us understand the real impact.
For sure. Okay, staying informed, standing up for your rights, it's all so important. So, for our final thought today, let's zoom out a bit.
Yep.
Think about these consumer protection laws more broadly. How does knowing about these rights and actually seeing them enforced, not just for debt collection, but across finance, how does that help create a fairer system for everybody?
That's a good question to ponder.
Yeah, something to think about as you navigate your own financial life. Thanks for taking this really important deep dive with us today.
If this podcast helped you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep making these videos. Thanks for watching.